Hi everyone, my name is Esther and I'm a recent graduate from the University of Guelph. My thesis was about predicting beef cattle body weight based on measurements taken from their pictures. If you would like to contact me, my email is located on the title slide. To begin this presentation, I would just like to thank my advisor, Dr. Dan Tilpin, for his guidance and patience, as well as my advisory committee members, Dr. Katie Wood and Jennifer Ellis, for their help. For this presentation, I'll be going through the background, objective, material and methods, results, and conclusion regarding my thesis. For the background, I'll be talking about the benefits of knowing beef calf's body weight. So why is obtaining body weight important? It is used to calculate medical drug dosage, as well as assessing health, welfare, productivity, and market status. However, weighing animals on a scale can be labor-intensive, as well as stressful for the animal. Stressful events can increase secretion of stress-related hormones, which can have negative effects, such as decrease in growth, reproduction, and immune function. Small to medium-sized farms could also be lacking available labor or funds for traditional scale-based weighing technologies. A quick search puts this about $3,000 to $35,000. As such, my thesis was created to obtain body weight without the manual labor, stress, and cost by using a computer to create models to predict body weight of a calf using measurements taken from their images. The objectives of this thesis focus on the assessment of the potential and limitation of predicting body weight using machine learning models trained on measurements extracted from 2D images. To do this, we plan on evaluating the accuracy of multiple machine learning models for predicting body weight, comparing accuracy of body weight prediction using measurements extracted from the live animal and 2D images, and assessing how other biological features would impact the model and their body weight prediction. For the materials and methods of my thesis, 2D images and live animal measurements were collected from the Ontario Beef Research Centre at Elora by a team of students in Dr. Katie Woods' lab. A total of 103 calves were measured. 62 were heifers and 41 were bull calves. Each calf was weighed, measured, and had their pictures taken once per week, from weeks 2 to 8 of age. The live animal measurements collected were heart girth, mid-piece height, nose to rump, and withers to pins. The measurements collected from images were chest depth, image mid-piece height, image nose to rump, shoulder to rump, and jaw to rump. Each image measurements had a live animal measurement counterpart. This could be seen on the table on the right side of the slide. Aside from these measurements, other variables were also used to predict body weight. These variables include previous body weight, age, and gender. As mentioned before, the image measurements were collected from 2D images of the calf. Each image are composed of a screen in the background, a red plate to use as a measurement reference, and a lateral view of a calf facing forwards towards the right side. On the left side of the slide are measurements seen from the previous slide. On the picture to the right is an example of an image of a calf. The color lines correspond to the measurements highlighted in the table on the left. A set of criteria were created for image quality control. These criteria composed of the background screen not being angled, the cattle being parallel and flush onto the screen, the cattle was at resting and standing posture with its head facing forward and not pulling at the lead, as well as his legs or its legs not too far apart or too close together. Images fulfilling less than 3 of these attributes were removed. Any cattle that were lacking any images for any weeks were removed from the study. On the bottom is an example of a good image, while the top is a picture that got rejected. 6 machine learning algorithms were used to build models. They were linear regression, Bayesian ridge, partial least square, decision tree, random forest, and AdaBoost. Model evaluation measures were measurements used to evaluate how well models could predict body weight. The ones used in this thesis were mean absolute percentage error, mean absolute error, root mean square error, coefficient of determination, and max error. Feature importance were also used to determine which variable, such as the 5 measurements, Previous body weight, age, and gender were important to the model in predicting body weight. Despite using multiple methods to evaluate how well a model could predict body weight, I will only be talking about the coefficient of determination, also known as R-squared. And this is to keep this presentation within the time restraint, which I'm sure you would all appreciate. For those who would like a refresher on what a coefficient of determination is, also known as R-squared, R-squared ranges between 0 and 1 and is essentially how well the model fits the data. If the coefficient of determination was 0.8, about 80% of the data were actually predicted by the model. Here we have an overall average R-squared trend for the datasets containing calves from ages 2 to 8 weeks, plotted on a bar graph. The models trained and tested on image versus live animal measurements are color-coded dark and light gray, respectively. Models trained and tested on image measurement datasets without previous body weight as one of the factors had a noticeably lower R-squared score than their live animal measurement version, which could be seen in the green squares. Those trained and tested on image measurement datasets with previous body weight as a factor were nearly on par with their live animal measurement versions. Despite having scores noticeably lower than those from the dataset of only live animal measurements, models trained and tested on image measurement datasets still had scores within the range of nearly being 0.8 or above, meaning these models could still be viable for decent prediction of body weight. Highlighted in green were the highest R-squared scores for each dataset. In terms of models more linear based, linear regression and Bayesian ridge were approximately even as to how well they've done. For those more decision-based, random forest obtained the highest R-squared scored, followed by Eta Boost. Random forest typically did the best when previous body weight was involved. Overall, random forest typically had the highest R-squared scored, while decision tree had the lowest. To get a visual on how well the 6 models predicted body weight, predicted versus measured body weight scatter plots were created. On the left side were models trained and tested on live animal measurements, while on the right side were models trained and tested on image measurements. The horizontal axis is the actual or known measured body weight, while the vertical axis is the model's prediction of the cattle's body weight. Every blue dot is a dataset regarding the model's prediction of body weight in regards to the actual body weight. The black dotted line represents the perfect prediction of body weight regarding what was measured. Ideally, we would like all the blue dots to fall on or near the black dotted line, which in all the models cases, most of the blue dots do. And finally, for the conclusion. Image measurements could be used to accurately estimate body weight of young calves 2 to 8 weeks old. Linear-based regression models typically predict body weight more accurately unless previous body weight was involved. Previous body weight had the highest impact in body weight prediction. Excluding previous body weight as a variable, heart girth had the high influence in body weight prediction for live animal measurement datasets. However, for image measurement datasets, image mid-piece height had the most weight in body weight prediction. Age had the highest impact on models trained on image-based measurements dataset. Gender did not influence any of the models at all. So you might be wondering, how would this apply to the real world? Well, after further testing, models could be integrated into apps that will allow easy monitoring of calves' body weight just by taking a picture. That essentially means it would be less labor-intensive and stressful way to obtain body weight. And obtaining body weight would be beneficial because you could use it to assess health, welfare, and weaning status. You could use it to calculate dosage for feed or medical drugs. And if using it with other models, you could use it to predict future weights of the calf. If you would like to learn more about the topic, the link to my thesis is found on the bottom left of this slide. On the bottom left is also my emails in case you would like to contact me for more questions. Aside from that, I would like to use the rest of my time for further questioning.